Yes, there is one there. The mic is coming.
Oh, yeah. One question on the last paper. I was just wondering, are there complementarities between style and type? Because I could imagine that like the underlying distribution of adopting a behavior plus the nature of complementarities could be very important for the extent to which, like encouraging everybody to smile could, kind of achieve both fairness and efficiency at the same time.
So both complementarities, but I think first of all, there is a lot of heterogeneity, right? So the impact of smiling for somebody who's older might be different than the impact of smiling for somebody who is younger. So there's a lot of heterogeneity, and this will impact the policy needs to take that into account. But in terms of complementarities, so we haven't really explicitly looked at this, but you could imagine that adopting several style features at the same time could kind of have a larger impact than doing them independently. Yeah. So the quick answer to this question is yes.
Other questions?
So imagine like me investing in something has monetary payoff, so I care about the defaults, but also like I want to support projects of a certain type. What if the styles are correlated with other features, like how you write up the project? I understand, like let's say like a savvy person understands that smiles are better than not smiles, and then they always smile, but they also have they also hook into the zeitgeist to it better. Even though it's not showing up in default rates, but it's still, you see what I mean? Like if the styles are correlated with other ways of understanding how people like to give money.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. At the end of the day, you have borrowers from oftentimes developing world that is trying to cater to audience in the US. So this attractive style is really the way of like second guessing what American audience would like. So I think there's some unobservable characteristic that that impacts the allocation of funds through the choices of style, and but still platform policies could kind of impact who is choosing what type of style. So that would also mean redistributing the funds across these unobserved characteristics.
Yes, there is another question.
Yeah, so first of all, it was a very interesting presentation. I just wanted to ask like two questions. First, is there any other information from the observational data, like how far are they from their goal, or other kind of like additional information that might also like impact on the decision from the lenders to engage with that borrower? Or is it just like the photograph, and then you also have information about like whether they clicked, how much time they spend like looking at their information, so how engaged they are, and whether you're controlling for those observable variables on the regressions of the observational study? The other thing would be, my other question is just related to how do you measure, how do you calibrate in your model like these different policies? Like, just more information about that if you can elaborate.
Yeah. So Kiva data is actually quite rich, and it's publicly available data, most of it, and you have the information about the size of the loan, the kind of daily funding rates. So you could actually follow this kind of day by day. We also have access to data on tracking. So what is the user behavior? We construct some indices of this, but we haven't used that data much, frankly speaking. And then your second question. So the model is fairly simple and fairly stylized. So the way it works, we have the pool of borrowers who have the distribution of characteristics, which is the same as distribution of characteristics in the observational data. But then the preferences of lenders are the preferences from the RCT. And then we simulate kind of this, we solved this model multiple times in order to characterize the outcome. And we keep those preferences constant, right? So that's a kind of limitation and maybe a questionable choice. But what we do is that the preference for smile is the same no matter how many people smile.
Great. Any more questions? Yes, that's still one question in the back.
This is more of a comment than a question, but I'm just wondering to what extent the first and the third paper should be connected, right? Like to the extent that we know certain things may be associated with better perceptions of online, even though, of course, obviously in that particular context, smile and may not be the most relevant thing, but there seems to me like that there could be a connection there, and I guess like more just in general related to some of the literature on training where people have looked at like management practices which seem to matter more and then have created training materials with those types of managerial practices. Perhaps there's something there in terms of using some of this data to actually do the training for online storefronts.
So
there's that reactions.
Yeah.
Well, Layane and I are presenting in the same session for the first time, like multiple times. And so clearly organizers understand what's the connection of the papers, but still I haven't figured it out. So
future research, perhaps. Thank you.
Great. So I think I will conclude by letting you look at all our pictures here and decide who you're going to give money to when we submit an application. And thank you very much for your attention.